everyone. Welcome to another Let's Play. My name is Anna Mardal, and this is King's Quest 1. But it's not quite Sierra's King's Quest 1. It is a remake of King's Quest 1 by AGD Interactive. And they have a little disclaimer here. King's Quest is copyrighted by Sierra Entertainment Inc. and is used with permission. King's Quest is a trademark or registered trademark of Sierra Entertainment Inc. Please do not contact Sierra with questions or technical issues relating to this product. All inquiries should be made on the AGD Interactive forums. If you enjoy this game, please try the original version, King's Quest 1, Quest for the Crown by Sierra. This game is a non-profit production, available for download at agdinteractive.com, and is not to be sold, rented, or distributed under any circumstances. So, we're all on the same page. This is a fan remake of King's Quest 1. Now, I did not have King's Quest 1 when it first came out. Because it actually came out, oh my god, you would think once I would look these things up first. It came out in 1984. So, I didn't have disposable income of my own in 1984, and I don't even know that my parents had a computer at that stage. I kind of think that they might have, but regardless, we were not on the computer game bandwagon at that point. So I did not play King's Quest 1, and I didn't play King's Quest 2, and I didn't play King's Quest 3 or 4. I did play King's Quest 5, and that was when I got involved in the series. So by that point, King's Quest 5 came out in 1990, I believe. At that point, King's Quest 1 was 6 years old, and it had not really aged well. King's Quest 1 is, or was, very much not a whole lot of plot, not a whole lot of talking. It was more like what you would think of as a puzzle game. You walked around and you picked up objects and you used objects on other things in order to get points, which is, I suppose, technically a fair description of most of the Sierra games that we've described. You walk around, you pick up things, you use things on other things, and you get points. But in the other Sierra games, you're really kind of doing it to advance the plot. If you've been watching this playlist as it goes up, as opposed to chronological order of the games, I'm playing them out of order. But if you've been watching this playlist as it goes up in the chronological order of me playing, as opposed to the chronological order of the games being published, then you will have noticed that with, for instance, my King's Quest 6 Let's Play, we're not really paying attention to the points. I mean, we won with full points. That was cool. But at no spot in the game could I have told you what our point score was. At that point, boy, I'm reusing that word a lot. At that stage, let us say, at the stage of King's Quest 6, in terms of the King's Quest evolution, by the time you get to King's Quest 6, the points are really just a vestigial way of letting the player know that they've done something correct. You get the little, the little point zing noise, like, oh, okay, I was supposed to do that. And letting the player know that the plot is moving forward and that they've done something right, or at least something meaningful. But the points themselves are not why you're playing. At no point in the wooing of Cassima and the romance with Alexander was I thinking, gosh, I really hope we get full points for this. King's Quest 1, very much about the points. It was a puzzle game. You're collecting points. You're doing these tiny little puzzles in order to get numbers, and the numbers tell you that you did good. So not plot driven is what I'm trying to say. So I didn't really go back and play King's Quest 1. But a lot of people did play King's Quest 1 and had a lot of nostalgia for it and thought, you know what? Let's remake this game. Let's make it pretty. Let's make it shiny. Let's maybe give it more of a plotty feel to the game, as opposed to just feeling like an empty puzzle game where you're just doing things for puzzle's sake. And you'll see this more in the AGD King's Quest 2 remake as well, which I also plan to play. So that is why we're playing the fan remake and not the original. You can get the original on GOG. I'm pretty sure. I really should check these things before I start playing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it in my GOG library because I bought the classic series. And I know I bought the classic series back on CD back in the day because that was the physical instruction book that I was reading to you earlier in the King's Quest 6 playthrough. So, all that to say, that's why we're playing a fan remake instead of the proper Sierra version. It's not just because I'm shallow and wanted prettier graphics, although I will cop to being shallow. Never in my life have I said that I'm not. Okay, there we go. And we're going through letters. I guess this is the AGD opening screen. Very shiny, very cool. I love fan remakes. I'm a big fan of, well, the concept. They're usually labors of love, trying to preserve and maintain beloved old franchises. King's Quest 1, Quest for the Crown. And oh look, they got to use the splash screen that was packaged over everything for the King's Quest Collection remake. It made everything look nice and unified. And here we have this. Let's hit introduction. That is a very pretty.
You are Sir Graham, the bravest and most honorable knight in the troubled realm of Daventry. King Edward the Benevolent, aged ruler of Daventry, has summoned you to the castle for reasons unknown.
Greetings, Sir Graham. The King is expecting you. Allow me to escort you to His Majesty's throne room.
Thank you, Sir Knight.
I did not know this was voice acted.
Raise the portcullis.
Right, forgotten.
I am at your service, my king.
I am an old man, Sir Graham. Perhaps too old to carry the weight of this crown. My bones ache, my hands tremble. I am afraid my time on earth grows short. But enough about me. Great misfortunes have befallen Daventry since the loss years ago of 3 magical treasures. I have chosen you, the finest knight in all of Daventry, to search for these lost treasures. Only then can this kingdom be restored to its former glory. and only then may I rest with the knowledge that my people are safe. The first treasure is a magic mirror that foretells the future. The second is a magical shield that protects the bearer from all mortal harm. The third and last is an enchanted chest that is forever filled with gold. I know that what I ask is difficult, nay, perhaps impossible. The dangers are many, but you are brave and pure of heart. That is why I chose you to volunteer. If you succeed, you will inherit my crown and rule the realm of Daventry as her rightful king. Go, Sir Graham, and know that the fate of Daventry lies in your hands.
Take heart, my king. I shall not fail you.
Well, okay. So I mentioned this in our King's Quest V playthrough. But Graham is not royalty himself. He just happens to be a loyal servant of the king. Again. Would you like to play the game without the possibility of encountering dead ends or getting stuck? Well, that's new. Oh, when I click out, the music stops. I can't stealthily Google things without you guys knowing. Well, I guess I can on my phone. Well, I don't see anything on the AGD site, so I was gonna look up what the heck that's all about. All new, no dead ends gameplay mode. Well, honestly, let's be serious. I'm using a walkthrough, so we don't need to do that. No, it's fine.
You have selected to play with dead ends enabled. The game will play exactly the same way as the EGA version of King's Quest I, Quest for the Crown.
Sweet. So, no offense to the... Oh, thank you. Thank you. Look, this is so easy. You can have voice only, you can have text only, you can have voice and text. It's so nice and easy to make things accessible. So no offense to everyone who has talked so far. That was very fine voice acting. I have no criticism of it, especially for a fan game. Because I say especially because I'm assuming everyone provided that labor for free or nearly free as opposed to being paid by Sierra. So I have a great deal of respect for volunteer creatives, being one myself in many ways. So no disrespect to them, but I personally prefer to read the things myself. The heck? These scaly, slimy serpents cruise the moat, searching for unwary trespassers. So this is, I was trying to look up whether Sierra had done a VGA remake of King's Quest I. And I'm pretty sure they have. But the first, first original 1984 release did not have the walkie, looky, touchy, talky buttons. That was added later. Nothing is wanting to cooperate with me. Here we go. King's Quest. I don't know if they did. If you look at the GOG version, it's the old text parser game that has, you have to type in everything. So I don't know that King's Quest, that Sierra released an official shiny remake. I think AGD was the only one who made a remake for it, which is pretty impressive that they were able to so beautifully and perfectly mimic that Sierra style, because this screen up here looks so much like their usual style that we saw in King's Quest 5 and King's Quest 6, that my first thought was, wait, did they do that? That looks exactly like it should look. That's really well done. I like it when fan remakes are so true to the original that it's almost kind of hard to tell. Wait, am I really not playing the real thing? That's what it should look like. So okay, you've got a castle, a moat. And this actually kind of drives home what I was saying about points. You've got this point counter. Thank you, menu. You've got this point counter up in the top of the screen where it would be visible and noticeable, because that's really your reward for completing a lot of the puzzles. It's just the points go up. In later games, like in King's Quest 6, the points pretty much stays in here in the the game menu, because why do you don't really, why do you care? Or at least I didn't anyway. Maybe everyone else did. I'm plot driven. That should come as no surprise to anyone else. So they're really just kicking it in here. So we've got slimy, scaly serpents cruising the moat, searching for unworried trespassers. And in fact, I distinctly remember that the first time I played the King's Quest 1 game, I accidentally walked too close to the moat and instantly died. It was like, oh, he's wearing our hat. I was like, I don't like this game. It's you, Sir Graham, the finest knight in all of Daventry. The guards protect the king's castle. The portcullis is the only entrance to the king's castle. You reconsider the wisdom of returning to King Edward without having recovered Daventry's 3 lost treasures. These stone-faced guards must have been trained not to converse with anyone. They ignore you, Sir Graham. Another neat thing that was, I believe, pinched from the other Sierra games is, I don't know if you can see it because it's a pixel drawing, but Graham's boot on the walking icon has a little pink dot on his forward striding leg. And you might not think anything of that, but if you go to the eyeball, there's a pink dot on the pupil. If you go to the hand, there's a pink dot on the forefinger. And if you go to the speaking icon, there's a little pink dot at the very bottom of the speech balloon that's coming out of his mouth. That dot is where your cursor is actually positioned, which is really necessary because it's a pretty big icon, these walkie, looky, picky up things. When I press this, am I trying to get this rose here, or am I trying to get, so for instance, okay, am I trying to get this purple flower, or am I trying to get the vine next to it? Or who knows? Well, because the hand covers the vine, it's so the pixel, the pink pixel dot was added to make it very, very clear exactly where your cursor is focused on, while still letting you have the bigger icon that makes it easier to find it on the screen. Wow, I'm just nerding out all over the video. And over here, the castle vines are captured with a thick tangle, or the castle walls are carpeted with a thick tangle of vines. Can we climb them? The guards do not appreciate people climbing the castle. I do not know. Oh, can we look at ourselves? We already did. You check to make sure the feather is still securely stuck in your cap. What about if we talk to ourselves? Talking to yourself is a sure sign that the hot Daventry sun is taking its toll on you. Okay, so if we go this way, the castle has a bridge. And if we go this way, the castle has a bridge. And those are really our only options right now, so we'll go this way. That's interesting. This is a beautiful little lake. There are strong currents under the calm surface of the lake. Diving here would be too dangerous. So possibly we shouldn't. You're carrying nothing. Possibly we shouldn't walk around in the water then. What happens if we try to walk around in the water? I feel like it's my duty as a Let's Player to... Oh. Well, absolutely nothing. So we can walk through the lake. It just says we shouldn't dive. Okay. Cool, I guess. Don't know why the water looks like that. This is north of the lake. You are standing in a clearing. The view of the forest is most pleasant here. Can we go north from here? An unusual clover glistens in the middle of the patch. It does? Really? Where? You pick a large four-leaf clover from the patch. I surely didn't see it. You see a fragrant patch of clover growing in a lush meadow. Lovely fruit trees have blossomed early this year. What am I doing? I said I would follow a guide, but instead I'm just walking at random. As you start to cross the bridge, a huge hulking troll stomps into view and blocks your way. Well, what have we got here? You think you're gonna cross my bridge, do you? Not for free, you ain't. You're quite the little chatterbox, ain't you? Well, let me warn you. These bridges have been in my family for years and years. Nobody, especially not a puny little knight like yourself, has ever passed one of our bridges without paying the troll toll. Quit gabbing. Are you planning on paying my toll, or do I have to get tough? Do you want a four-leaf clover? Your skimpy offering doesn't impress the troll. You push the troll as hard as you can. Unfortunately, the troll doesn't budge an inch. Huh, okay. Well, that's not very nice. I have strayed from my walkthrough, and I feel shame. So let's go back to the castle. I didn't mean to, it was just so pretty. What's going on? What is it? What's going on? What's happening? Gentle Sir Graham, I am your fairy godmother. We have a fairy godmother? Your quest is indeed noble. What little aid I can offer you is this protective magic spell, effective for but a short while. I shall be watching over you, Sir Graham. No! No! I don't want it. I'm not ready for it yet. Stop, restore. Well, it's my own fault for not picking take the version that has no dead ends. Okay, so we'll follow the walkthrough this time like a good little Let's Player. Leave the castle and cross the bridge on the left. Oh, the left? My left or your left? My left or Graham's left? Hi, pretty girl. Who's a pretty girl? You're a pretty girl. Keep walking until you see a rock. That's a rock. Does that count? You see a large gray rock. Make sure to stand behind the rock and push the rock. This rock is less distinctive than the one next to it. You're in a shady forest clearing. A large rock rests in the middle of the clearing. With a small shove, you manage to push the rock a few feet, revealing a shallow hole underneath. You reach into the hole and find an intricately carved dagger. You carefully lift it out, being careful not to cut yourself. Cool. Oh, and the items have image points as well. Be careful, Sir Graham, you might cut yourself. Walk north to the large oak. There is an enormous oak tree growing here, its branches reaching up to the sky. This is the biggest oak tree you've ever seen. Its trunk seems to be about 10 feet around, and the thick, sturdy branches look like they could hold many times your weight. This is really beautiful. I like the font. Can we climb the tree? Finding plenty of footholds in the coarse bark of the tree, you easily clamber up the trunk to the branches above. And all these descriptions must have been added in the remake, because I'm 99.9% certain that they weren't available in the original version. You know, I mean, maybe some of them, but I'm betting not all of them. The leaves stretch out, creating a massive canopy high above Daventry. You're too far away from the nest to see it clearly. So here is where you absolutely need that precision pixel. Ow. There is a perfect shimmering golden egg lying in the nest. You carefully lift the golden egg out of the nest. This is a fine silver dagger with very sharp edge. You can't read the runes on the blade, but it appears to be an elvish dagger of great antiquity. You are holding a lovely golden egg. The music feels a bit loud, am I wrong? The music seems to have two options, on and off. Okay, fair enough. I don't know if it matters, but the guide I'm using in strong language says do not fall, which is why I'm being so picky about. You can tell by the coarse feel of the wood, the tree must be ancient. There we go. Leave the screen to the right. Look at the garden. You see a brick border surrounding a well-kept garden. We're behind the castle. From here you can see the battlements of King Edward's castle overlooking the garden. This is a well-tended carrot patch. The carrots look tempting to a hungry traveler. You pluck a plump orange carrot from the ground. This looks like an ordinary carrot. Walk north to the lake. Wandering along the banks of a beautiful lake, you see a cute little elf. You should get closer to the elf. The elf is impressed by your friendliness and responds by handing you an elegant little ring. I've had my eye on ye, Sir Graham. Methinks you might enjoy this little trinket. For just a wee bit of time, it has the power to make ye invisible. May it give ye as much entertainment as ye has given me this day. With that, the elf vanishes. Interesting. Your hand tingles slightly as you look at this jeweled ring. I don't know how I've given them entertainment, but... When you have the ring, walk north and look at this bowl. Lovely pine trees abound in the forest. There appears to be some sort of bowl sitting next to the tree. You pick up the bowl. Inscribed on the inside of this empty ceramic bowl is the word fill. Okay. Walk to the left. There is a large walnut tree surrounded by several pine trees. This large, healthy tree is chock full of plump walnuts. Can we pick up a nut? There we go. You choose a big, meaty-looking walnut from the bunch scattered around. You are holding an ordinary walnut. When you open the walnut, you discover the nut inside is pure gold. That's impressive. Leave the tree and go 3 screens south. That's 1. Past the house. That's 2. Past the tree with the egg. Until you get to the rock you moved. Turn left here. Walk to the lake and take some pebbles from the beach. This is a serene mountain lake with a small beach of pebbles on its edge. The water's not deep enough for you to dive. You grab some pebbles. There we go. Look at the pretty pebbles. What do those remind me of? Oh, I think they remind me of the rocks you can gather and throw in Heroes Quest 3. It's not quite the same, but the pattern reminds me a little bit of that. Walk 2 screens left. This map, by the way, I made a lot of hullabaloo about how big the land of Serenia was, that it was 12 squares, a 4x3 map. Daventry is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 times 6. So 48 squares. And then there's some other side areas as well on the map. But, so I'd say at least, but the main area is 48 squares, which is a lot of squares compared to, you know, a little place like Serenia. The roots of the trees are entwined around this craggy cluster of rocks. I guess the sparkle is just supposed to be sunlight. Next to you is an old fallen tree trunk. It's crumbled and rotted and holds no fat interest for you unless you have a fascination for termites. From here, you can see that the stump is very old and rotting away. A dark hole at the top catches your attention. The old stump is damp to the touch. A dark hole at the top. Yes, I'm trying. You should look down into dark holes before putting your hand in them. Okay. Inside the rotting stump, you notice a small leather pouch. As you lift the pouch from the stump, you feel its contents shifting inside. When you peek inside the leather diamonds, you discover it is filled with, or leather pouch, you discover it is filled with diamonds. Well, there is just treasure all over this forest, isn't there? Actually, that kind of makes sense. If Daventry used to have a chest that is constantly filled with gold, things like golden eggs and golden nuts and random pouches of diamonds might be less valuable in a monetary sense, and people might just leave it around randomly. I don't know. Walk to the right, and in front of the lake, go south. You see a cottage in shambles. It saddens you to think that somebody might still live here. It was made from rough, hand-hewn logs long ago. Lately, the upkeep has faltered. There are even holes in the roof. The woodkeeper speaks to you, his voice broken with sorrow.
We would welcome you to our home, Sir Knight, but we have had no food for so long. My beautiful wife cannot even rise from her bed. I fear she may die soon.
A woman is laying in bed, pale and still. Her husband is seated on the bed, staring blankly at her pale face. There's a rickety old cupboard on the wall, an old earthenware pitcher. The woodcutter's most treasured possession, a fine old fiddle, lies on the table. The bowl had the word fill on the bottom. To your astonishment, when you use it, something begins to bubble up from the bottom of the bowl. Within moments, the bowl is filled with hot, savory stew. Well, we're gonna give it to the lady who's sick. The woodcutter is overwhelmed with joy.
Thank you, Sir Knight. We shall never forget your kindness and generosity. Please take my fiddle as a small token of our thanks.
The woodcutter's wife is in bed, sitting up and eating hearty stew by the spoonful. If ye had eaten the stew, we would have found that the bowl will fill up each time you ask it to fill. So they should never go hungry again, although they might get tired of stew. Maybe it has different settings, like a soup of the day.
Thank you, Sir Knight.
The woodcutter's wife is too polite to speak with her mouth full. You play a lively toe-tapping tune on the fiddle. The woodcutter and his wife ignore your fiddling. Perhaps they preferred their own music? Nice. Nice. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Go to screen south. This is interesting. The murky water of the swamp looks very uninviting. The huge snake is watching you closely, and its intentions are less than friendly. I'm going to go down here to a gingerbread house. This is the most marvelous house you've ever seen. It seems like it's made out of a huge gingerbread cupcake with frosting for a roof. The chimney is made of gummy bricks. The door is made of chocolate. The fence is made of candy canes. And sourball stones and gumdrops are scattered around the yard. The path to the front door is lined with little gingerbread boys and girls. As you begin to eat the house, a squeaky voice from somewhere says, "Nibble, nibble, little mouse, who is nibbling at my house?" That might be a good time to leave. As you knock on the chocolate door, a squeaky voice from inside the house answers, "Who is there? I love visitors, especially young, tender ones. Come in, come in." Whoa! Holy crap! What just happened? I didn't even see what it said. I just clicked. Make it happen again. Make it happen again. I don't know what happened. With a screech and a cackle, a witch swoops down from the skies above. Look out! She dips and turns and tries to catch you! There is no answer from inside the house. Yum! This house tastes even better than it looks. What did it say? Chocolate chip cookies are stuck to the wall in various places around the cupcake house. Okay. So now there is nobody inside. So we're going to go inside. Oh my. As the green liquid is terribly goopy, the fire must have been burning underneath it for quite some time. The cabinet on the wall is rather plain and simple. In contrast to its delightful exterior, the inside of the gingerbread house looks dark and ominous. The cage is made from strong, thick iron bars. They look a little rusty, but they're solid through and through. You may have seen a bed in the other room, but you're not sure. You see a note on the table by the bed. The bed looks hard and uncomfortable. You grab a note from the table. Off in the distance, you hear a high, squeaky voice. "I can smell someone tasty in my house." That's bad. This ugly old witch is one of the most hideous sights you have ever seen. Her eyes are dark and evil, and her crooked smile twitches hungrily. She's not to be trusted. You need to get closer, but be careful. Oh, grand! I'm going to get my cauldron ready to cook someone for dinner. Yum! After I get the cauldron nice and hot, I will be ready to have someone for dinner. With a mighty shove, you courageously push the wicked witch into the pot. Her wild screams are suddenly cut off as she melts away into the oily green slime. Congratulations! I guess. There is a message written on the note. Sometimes it is wise to think backwards. Hey, Cookie. Sitting on the shelf is a delicious piece of Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese, really? So, Switzerland exists in this scenario, does it? Oh, okay. My heart started beating really fast. Okay. We are supposed to walk 3 screens to the left and 1 south. And somehow we have looped. So the 48 screens of the valley, I guess, loop into each other. Because we got to the clover patch before by walking north, and here we've been walking south. But we will pick up this clover. You admire the beauty of the 4-leaf clover. You are holding a large 4-leaf clover. A jumble of clovers grow in this patch. Lovely fruit trees have blossomed this side of this time of year. Okay. Clover we have. Go 1 screen to the south and 3 screens right to see a well. We saw a well before, kind of up in the distance to the north. Yep, that's it. A healthy tangle of vines is coiled around a well. You have encountered an old stone well in the middle of these woods. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. After you are in the old bucket, your weight causes it to slowly descend. That's not what I meant to do at all. You're already climbing the rope. I've done something wrong. There we go. You managed to take the bucket. We can swim. And we can dive. Oh, we actually want to go... With difficulty, you managed to fill the bucket while swimming. Why would that be difficult, Graham? This isn't the chest you're looking for. It looks like this chest has been buried here for a very long time. Oh. We died. I don't remember drowning before. No, this is wrong. I did something wrong. There we go. I did play the original EGA one time, and I think I completed it. And I thought I played this one, but of course it's been updated several times since I last played. You cut the rope using the dagger and take the old bucket. Turn the crank if you wish to lower the rope. The rope disappears into darkness. You don't want to dive just yet. You're holding an empty wooden bucket. With difficulty, you manage to fill the bucket while swimming. So we want to go a little bit faster this time. Okay. A ferocious fire-breathing dragon is protecting the magic mirror. The mirror shimmers with its own magical light. Green and scaly, the dragon is massive and muscular. Serrated armor stretches from its tail to its neck, his leathery wings folded against his side, and his webbed claws look sharp and deadly. The ferocious, fire-breathing dragon is protecting the magic mirror. We have a bucket of water. And obviously that's our best weapon. Good shot! The water hits the dragon square in the face, dousing his fire. Unable to defend itself with anything more than harmless clouds of steam, the dragon rolls aside the granite boulder and slinks off in shame, leaving the mirror behind. Couple of thoughts. One, very cool effect. Two, steam is far from harmless. Three, what about the claws he had? Regardless, our mirror now. You take the magic mirror. Congratulations! You shouldn't drop that, Sir Graham. Perhaps you will need it to complete your quest. As you gaze into the magic mirror, you see a reflection of yourself as king of this land of Daventry. Well, that's quite a confidence booster. This is a large, apparently vacant cave. Damp and cool, the cave is lit only by the sunlight streaming in through the cave's entrance to the west. This jagged, rocky hill reveals the entrance to a cave. The grass dies off suddenly at this point, and the ground turns into hard clay, stretching east into a dark, barren area of the forest. If we go south, we will see this gate here where someone has built a small goat pen. The gate to the pen is closed. We can open the gate and go inside the pen. Stop it. Oh no! The goat has escaped through the gate you left open. He could have wandered anywhere by now. Oh, dang. We didn't do it right, I guess. We'll try it again. Obviously, we shouldn't have left the gate open. obviously. This is the goat's trough, currently empty. Goats are always hungry. The little goat is wandering this way and that, exploring his pen. We have a carrot. We have a carrot. We have a carrot and an uncanny ability to click on the wrong thing. Very clever! You tempt the goat with the carrot and he begins to follow you around. You've made a friend. We're gonna open this pen. You'd better wait for the goat or he might not follow you. No, woman. Not what I want. No. I don't want that right now. I will let you know when I want it. Now we gotta do the whole goat thing again. Gosh dang it. This is all your fault, grandmother. Let's try a different route. Hey, hey. We're going this way. Follow me. As you start to cross the bridge, a huge hulking troll stomps into view and blocks your way. It is a well-known fact that goats hate trolls intensely. You move aside and let the goat take care of this nasty, wretched troll. The goat lowers his head and runs straight for the troll, butting him right off the bridge and into the river below. That's the last you'll see of that troll. And the goat wanders home. That's probably for the best. We have reached the hour mark, and I think this is probably a good place to stop our game. And we'll come back in the next video. So once again, this is the AGD interactive remake of Sierra's King's Quest 1. My name is Anna Mardal, and I will see you in the next Let's Play. Bye-bye.